What's up, y'all? Welcome to this tutorial for how to get paint textures to work in 7 Days to Die. I'm doing a voiceover because I messed up and didn't record my voice again. So anyway, let's make this disappear. I don't know what I'm saying here. So this is the version of Unity that you're gonna need. You want to make sure you use this version. I don't know if another version will work. I just know this works for me. I've gone through a lot of trial and error for this to work. So anyway, Unity downloads archive, which I will be putting links to everything that you need in the description. But on the Unity archive page, you're going to click the 2021, and then you're going to scroll down to the 2021 319 F1. Okay, I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to set all this up. Just know that this is the version you need. If you need to know how to set up Unity and all that stuff, then you're going to want to go check another video out. This is focusing just on a brief tutorial. The next thing you'll need is GIMP, and then also XNView if you plan on doing any kind of color alterations. If you want to do different variants of a texture with different colors, then you'll want XNView. Again, links to these will be down in the description. Next thing you'll need are textures. So I use mainly ambient CG. Polyhaven's good. Textures.com is probably the best. If you can pay a few bucks, like $13, you get access to a huge library. But they don't have much in the way of free textures. They only get a handful of free texture. Everywhere else is free. So Texture Labs, I believe I've gone there as well. But everything here is free on ambient CG. You're going to go PBR surfaces, and we're going to punch in, just to be quick, we're going to do tiles. And there's an absolute ton of different tiles here, but we're just going to grab this one just to demonstrate. So you want to get the 1K version. Okay, download that. Because you have to split it up into 4 512 by 512 squares. The game won't render in if it's anything but 512 for whatever reason. So there's no high quality, high res textures we can put in, unfortunately. Except when it comes to vehicles. But anyway, we're going to grab this texture. I don't know what I'm yapping about here, but let's open it up. And you're looking for, we're going to grab the color and the normal GL. Okay, those are the only two you'll need. The color is sometimes named albedo or base. I think there's another name for it, but anyway, you're just going to drag it into somewhere to work with. Drop those two in there. Okay, you want to go ahead and rename them. This just makes the whole process quicker and easier. Just trust me on this. Now, this is the format I use: CK tile, CK brick, CK carpet, and then a number. And then for the base ones, we're just doing 11 for this one because I don't remember what tile I'm up to. But I do base, and then we will save that just like that. Okay, this other one, we'll name it the same exact thing, but instead of base, we'll do norm for normal. The base texture gives you just like the picture. The normal mapping tells the game how it's it gives it depth and tells like where light to reflect. So it gives you 3-dimensional look. So those are the two things that you'll need. Um, yep. I think I'm explaining that here. Yep. All right. The third thing that you will need is the roughness map. I'm going to include my gloss and matte finishes, which are all I use anyway. You're welcome to mess around with me if you want, but for the sake of tiles, we're using the gloss finish. This tells the game how shiny something is. You can attempt to use the roughness map that comes with the texture, like with the pack, but I didn't fight. I fought with everything else enough to where I just made a generic gloss and a matte and stuck with those. So completely up to you if you want to mess with that. But anyway, we're gonna start up GIMP, and we're also gonna start up XNView. Just gonna give you a quick show of what I do when I want to do color variations. Not so much with tiles. I don't suggest doing it with tiles, but like wood textures, wall textures. So anyway, you're gonna go to image, adjust, enhance colors, and then the first thing you do is run the saturation down. That'll give you straight black and white. Then from there you go back in, same thing, adjust, enhance colors, and you can adjust the sliders from here. As I said in the video, it didn't record, but I'm not one to look to for instruction on this. There's a lot of different sliders and a lot of stuff you can do with contrast and brightness and exposure, all kinds of stuff. But this is just a basic quick show. Anyway, you get that, you're going to want to go to File and Export. Okay, I do PNG. All of this as is should be fine. I don't actually know what a lot of that shit is, but it should be fine. Anyway, so you just resave it over itself if it's already in PNG format. If not, save it as PNG. All right. Save, exit this. Yep, piss off. Okay. Now we'll go into GIMP. Well, we'll pull this up in Unity just to show you. It'll resave over if the original file is PNG. Anyway, drag this over into GIMP. Okay. Now from here we want to go up to image or layer or colors. Image. Make sure it's on RGB, 8-bit, nonlinear. Okay. Then from there, you'll go down to guides, new guide by percent. You want to make sure it's on 50%. And it doesn't matter vertical, horizontal. We're going to do both. So hit OK and it'll slice it basically. Then you go back and do the same exact thing in the opposite. Okay, that cuts you into 4 quadrants. You're going to grab your crop tool, drag it over. Okay, it'll snap. You hit enter to clear it. Go to File, Export As. And from here, you want to add numbers to the end of the base. I mean, you don't have to. Again, this is just my format. It makes it easier. But go base1.png. Okay. Export. It has to be an 8-bit RGBA. Okay, all this stuff should be fine as is. All right. And hit export. Okay, now you can go hit edit, undo, and then you'll do the second part. Drag and enter to clear, and then again export as, and then do number 2, base 2. Okay, now you can hit Control Z after. Okay, you hit enter again, but you can hit Control Z to do undo and make it go faster. As you'll see, when you're doing a lot of these, it speeds the process up. So Control enter, Control Z, drag, crop, export, base 4. Okay, enter, done. Now you can clear that off, discard it. Now we're going to grab, you see that the 4 tiles are in there. They're 512 RGB. Okay, there's the original one. Now we're going to do the normal. This one's a little bit more involved, but same process. You make sure it's in RGB, make sure it's in 8-bit, nonlinear. You're going to go to layer. You're going to go to transparency. You're going to make sure it doesn't have an alpha channel. If remove alpha channel is available, hit that. If not, then just go up to mask, add layer mask. You can leave the white. It's fine. Hit add. And you're going to go back up to layer, to mask, and go show layer mask. Okay. Now from here, you want to grab your paintbrush. You can adjust the size up to max because we're just going to be filling it in as fast as we can. Or you can do the fill tool if you want, but we're going to click here. And then we're going to go all the way as white as possible to the corner. And then we're going to back it off 1 digit. And we're just making it very slightly off white. If you don't do this, then you'll get a weird anomaly where when you view your texture from one angle, it will it'll go black. But anyway, you fill that in, then you go to layer, mask, and then apply layer mask. Now you can't see it because of how white it is, but if you do a more off-white, you'll be able to see the checkerboard pattern over top. Like I said, in here you can't, but anyway. Now from here, we do the same setup where we chop it up into 4 parts. Do the guides, horizontal and vertical. Like I said, go back to your crop tool, wham bam, enter, file, export as, and then you're gonna make sure we do 1 and then PNG. JPEGs may work in the game, I don't know. I just know PNG works, so that's what I use. All right, export, hit enter. Yeah, you have to make sure it's in RGBA or else it'll leave out that alpha channel that we just made. So get piece number 2. Same situation, piece number 2, export, normal, number 2, enter, enter, Control Z, drag, enter, export, rinse and repeat. Normal 3. And finally, number 4. And enter. Now you can exit if you want. You're going to go into Unity. You got to make sure that this shows the RGBA right here for the normal. If it doesn't, then you fucked up somewhere and it won't work right. So we're going to grab these 4 and then these 4 and then the gloss. If you're also using matte, then you're going to grab matte. You know, you just compound this whole process. And yeah, so you're going to go right click, build Unity bundle, go medium, what's recommended. And then you're just going to go to your folder you're working in, or in this case will be your template folder. And then you're going to name it something you can reference quickly and easily. That's my original one that I was that I made my original mod pack in. So once that's done, we got to go to edit the XML, which is, it's only one thing you have to edit. It's the painting file. Mod info has to be there. It will be there. I'll have it set as some generic shit, so you can change it if you want. If not, whatever, up to you. But you're gonna go config and painting. That's the only thing that's gonna be in there. Now this is gonna be the format that's in there. I'm only gonna have one group for a template. So, but this is my original whole paint texture file. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy, and this is what you would do once you're doing additional paints. You're just gonna copy that whole grouping and copy it and paste it, and just keep adding for every additional paint texture you add. So here we're gonna switch to tile 11, since that's what we set our, that's what we named it as. Here this references the mod folder, resources folder, and then the Unity file that we created. So you want to make sure and change this to whatever you named your Unity file. And then these are the four pieces that we made, that we cut out. So we're just changing these to reflect CK tile 11 base 1 through 4, and then again 11 norm 1 through 4. You're not using the original 1K tile at all, because the game only, for whatever reason, runs at 512 tiles. But yeah, that should be all set. I know I didn't change my mod folder. I didn't change that gloss resource there to CKTNP1 or just CKTNP, because I have it in CKTNP2. This group decoration tells the game where to put your paint texture in the list of paint textures. Decoration puts it like right on the front page, which is where I stick all mine. But if you wanted to group yours based on what they actually are, like wood flooring, stuff like that, you can separate it that way if you want. But I like having all mine right on the front page. All right. So you have to have OCB custom textures. If you don't, then it will not work. You also need the TFP harmony file. If you don't have that, it also won't work. So all of the things that you need should be included in the template that I provide. So OCB custom textures will be in there, as well as the harmony file. You'll just overwrite it if you already have it in there. So all right, so here we are. That is my newest baby. She'll be up here in the next couple of days. All right, so we're gonna grab a paintbrush and a dev paintbrush. And if you go in there, you should see right there in your list, there's the new tile. Bam, bam. There we go. We're gonna run around the back of the building so we can see it in the sun, so we can see the shine on it. You can see that it has some depth to it. Wait for me to catch the sun just right. Hold on. There you go. So you can see clearly it has depth to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Keep in mind that if you add textures and you make your own mod, if you paint stuff and then you add more textures to the paint file, then it will shuffle your paints around and it will affect things that have been painted. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, that's a wrap.